Now it's time to welcome Park Hyatt Aviara Director of Golf, Renny Brown. Renny, I mean, looking at that, we went from yesterday, we're like, oh gosh, this tournament's terrible, to now, I mean, seriously, now it's like, who's going to win this thing? I mean, what are your thoughts after this round?
I mean, today with the weather being as benign as it was, it's just put your foot on the gas pedal and see how low you can go. So, and a lot of guys did that. You mentioned Dustin Johnson that just went the opposite way. He's still got tomorrow, so, you know, but he'll have to, and watching the interview afterwards with him, admittedly, he's got to go really low tomorrow because there's so many guys between him and the top.
Now, we have to start this conversation with Paul Dunne, first amateur since Bobby Jones. I don't even know if people know who Bobby Jones is. You know,
a few people
that know golf. 1927,
would.
First amateur to lead the British Open after 54 holes. One word, amazing, I guess?
Amazing, and to think that at University of Alabama, Birmingham, he wasn't even arguably the top player on his own team. So, and that team isn't a juggernaut in any stretch of the imagination with college golf. So, simply amazing, but that's what can happen at the British Open. Weather factored in, and you never know what you're going to get. So, I would be surprised if we saw Paul Dunne hoisting the claret jug tomorrow. There's just too many fine players up at the top of the leaderboard, but you never know, and he's got a chance to really make history.
Is this why we love the majors? Because a guy like out of nowhere, an amateur of all people, an Irishman, is sitting there and he's, you know, he's playing better than the best of the best.
And I don't think he's going to sleep very well tonight either. But we'll see. As you know, his comment afterwards too, like, what are you going to be thinking tomorrow on the first tee? And it was, hopefully we'll make contact and get it up in the air. So,
well, let's hear what he said.
A little nervous.
Yeah, let's hear what he said after.
Sorry, I guess that's
all right.
Make contact with the ball. I've been nervous on the first tee, even though it's 100 yards wide for the last 3 days. So hopefully I can just get off to a nice start and settle into the round like I did today.
Now he's playing with Louis Oosthuizen again, so I mean, I guess that would calm your nerves a little bit because there's the comfort of playing with the guy he played with today, maybe? I don't know.
And Louis is, from what I understand, a great guy to just on tour, and so I think that'll be a very comfortable pairing for Paul Dunne. But you never know. I mean, tomorrow's a whole different ballgame. Louis will be all about, I mean, he's tied for the lead too. He's trying to win another major for himself, a second claret jug. So, I mean, he's going to be all business tomorrow. He's not going to be worrying about what Paul Dunne's doing. He's going to be solely focused on what Louis is doing tomorrow.
Dustin Johnson, I think everybody kind of figured what happened to him today was going to happen to him maybe in the first or the second round. But, I mean, I guess a lot of people just kind of expected it to happen earlier, but it happens today. What happened?
Yeah. Well, the good news for Dustin, and I think what he'll tell himself tonight is, or has already told himself is, hey, that's over. But even though it happened on Sunday, I've still got Monday. I can still make this happen. And he's going to go out tomorrow just, he's going to let it all hang out. He can hit it farther than anybody. He can make some of these, he can drive some of these par fours. And I think he's got nothing to lose, and we'll see. It'll be very interesting to see what he does tomorrow. He could shoot 80 tomorrow, but he might throw a 63 or a 64 and be right there. So you never know.
I talked to Chris Mason yesterday, and he said Spieth could win the third leg of the Grand Slam. He was 5 shots back. Now he's 1 shot back. I mean, your thoughts? I mean, is this guy going to do what nobody's done in the modern era?
Yeah, and it'll be exciting when the PGA of America, who's going to host the 4th major, be very excited to have Jordan Spieth win tomorrow, because then the gear up for the PGA is going to be that much more important. And I think Jordan, you know, he's won the first 2 majors of the year. He's got that confidence going. He's got that mojo, and I think he's going to be, obviously, he's more confident in what he's doing right now than any other player in the field.
Okay, I'm not Dave Scott, but I'm going to give the weather forecast. Early morning weather when the guys first tee off, 57 light wind, possibility of rain. Then after that, when the final guys tee off, 50% chance of heavy winds or heavy rain, and then the wind blowing up to 15 miles an hour. I mean, it's almost like you're better off teeing off earlier in the morning, isn't it?
For sure. And there's, I think we talked about earlier, there's close to 30 players within 5 or 6 shots of the lead. That does mean that potentially somebody could go out in pretty benign conditions, shoot 64, 65, get to that, probably 15, 16 under is going to win this tournament. So that's what those guys are all focused on. And then who knows with the later groups, if it's blowing, you know, the wind is going to probably play more an important role in this than rain, unless it's really just a gusher. So you never know. I mean, somebody that's sitting at 7 or 8 under par, Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson, who knows? It'll be very, very interesting to see tomorrow unfold.
We have about a minute left. I just have a follow-up question to that. I mean, we really saw how wind and weather, I mean, basically weather is what guards this golf course, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you saw it today in benign conditions with little wind and with the rain softening up the golf course, where you've seen most British Opens, you know, it's playing onto greens and surfaces where the ball can just roll out and run out, and guys are able to hold all their shots. It makes it a completely different golf course for sure.
Okay, now you have the opportunity to pick Keimer last year. I think was it win the PGA or
U.S. Open.
U.S. Open, but he was
like
eight shot lead, so that one doesn't really count.
That doesn't count.
Okay, so I'm going to give you another chance. Who is going to win tomorrow and why?
You can't go against Jordan Spieth, and so that would be my pick. He's demonstrated over the last few months in the 2 majors and not even in the majors, but with his all-around golf game, nothing bothers him. You saw him come back after a pretty, for him, poor second round to really bounce back, and I would expect that, you know, he's right there, he's 1 shot back. I would look at that pairing of Jordan Spieth and Jason Day tomorrow. One of those guys is going to win would be my prediction.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be Jordan Spieth.
And yes or no, Paul Dunn, does he have a chance to win?
He's got a very small chance to win, I think.
All right.
And no offense to all the amateurs out there, but I just think the pressure will be too much for him to handle.
Okay, there you go. Broken down by Renny Brown. Go check out the Park Hyatt Aviara, because with this rain, your course is going to be nice, huh?
It's mint out there. Come out and see us.
All right, cool. Guys, we're going to...
Join Rick Willis out there.
Don't, because then you might get hit by a ball. We'll send it back to you at the desk.
Then you'll be better, right? Then you'll
No,
win.
worse.
It'll be perfect, right?
Thanks, guys. We'll be right back. Stay with us.